Because Charlie is a Chihuahua. And he's wearing a coat. And I'm thinking to myself, reminding myself, it takes a big man to own a small dog. It takes a big man to own a small dog. And I have my earbuds in, and I'm listening to a podcast, The East Bay Today. And the title of this podcast is The Cultural Renaissance of Oakland. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our podcast. Our guest this evening is Mario Chambers, the Director of Tourism for the City of Oakland. So tell us, Mr. Chambers, why is it that this particular Renaissance is so different from all the others? Well, that's a very good question, Robert. I don't know if you've heard, but the New York Times has just voted Oakland one of the top 5 destinations to visit in the year 2012. I see a guy walking towards me. He's short. He's wearing a dark hoodie. He's black. He puts his head down and his hands inside his pockets. Don't be intimidated. It's all right. It's just a black guy wearing a hoodie. No big deal. It's just a fashion statement. Besides, you really shouldn't be racially profiling anybody. And you know the uptown neighborhood near downtown? Well, not long ago, nobody would go there with so much crime. Now, that place is alive with great bars and restaurants and art galleries everywhere. This guy looks dangerous. I shouldn't even be here. I should be over there, across the street. What am I doing here? This guy's coming closer. And I keep walking straight ahead. He passes me. Okay, I'm safe. But suddenly, and I don't know how it happens, he's standing in front of me, and I am looking at a gun. It's small, and it's black. It looks like a toy, but I'm not really sure. He doesn't say anything. He just jams his hand into my pocket and pulls out my iPod. And then he says, "Give me your money." This guy is scared. I'm walking my dog. I don't have any money. Now, the way I said that, I could have gotten myself shot. Or maybe the way I said that kept me from being shot. I don't know. All I know is this guy turns and he runs down the street really fast. And when he's at a safe distance, "Help! Help! I've been robbed!" People come out of their houses. "What happened?" "I just got robbed." "Hey, are you okay?" Yeah, I'm fine. You know, maybe you should call the police." "Yeah, I guess you're right. No, definitely, call the police." I borrow somebody's cell phone. The police come in just a few minutes. There are 2 of them. White cop and a black cop. White cop. Good evening, sir. Are you okay? You want to tell us what happened?" Black cop. Yeah, can you give us a description?" Well, he was a short guy, kind of small. He was wearing a dark hoodie, running shoes, and he was black. "I'm sorry, he was black. I wish he wasn't black. Believe me, I'd be much happier if he were a Chinaman. But he wasn't. He was black." I walk Charlie home. The little guy has no idea what happened. "Charlie, can you believe it? I just got robbed. I had a gun pointed at me." Charlie looks at me. When I get home, Miriam takes one look at my face. "What happened?" I tell her. "Oh my God, sweetie, are you all right?" That's all I hear for like 3-4 days from all my friends. "Are you okay?" A gun? Oh my God, are you all right? Are you okay? I tell everybody I'm fine, but I'm not. Because for 6 months, I don't go in the direction of that street. For 6 months, whenever I walk my dog day or night, I feel like somebody is behind me, and I'm constantly looking to see if they are. My friends, they say, oh, you're lucky. You're so lucky. You could have been shot. You're really lucky. I'm not lucky. I am stupid. I am so fucking stupid. Walking alone at night, empty street, a black guy starts walking towards me wearing a hoodie, and you're the skinny white guy walking a chihuahua? A fucking chihuahua? The ultimate non-guard dog. Why not just wear a sign that says, steal my shit? And excuse me, all you Bay Area liberals, if I'm scared of a black guy walking towards me at night wearing a hoodie, this is not the time to be politically correct. This is the time to get the fuck out of there and deal with your white guilt later. Next day is Friday. I go over to my friend Dave's house for a weekly meeting with some of our friends. I tell them the story of what happened. I get into every detail. And they're all looking at me, listening to every word I say. And to be honest, I'm loving the attention. In the middle, Rod bursts in. Oh yeah, a couple years ago, on MacArthur Boulevard, a couple of guys jumped me. They kicked me, they punched me. I was in the hospital. And I'm thinking, Rod, shut the hell up. This is my story. This may be the last time I ever get robbed. The conversation continues. And the guys start talking about how common these muggings are, like they happen all the time. And like they start talking about what they do to prepare themselves when they go out at night in case something like this happens. One guy says he carries a $10 bill with him as a contribution to a mugger. Another guy says he takes out his cell phone and acts like he's calling, the police. Another guy says he just walks across the street. But Dave, my buddy Dave, has the best idea of everybody. He says if he sees somebody suspicious walking towards him, he unzips his jacket and puts his hand inside, like he's carrying a gun. Whenever he's done this, the other guy, he walks across the street. I love this idea. I'm a tough guy, right? A few months later, walking down the street, it's kind of dark, I can't see real well. Sure enough, I see somebody walking towards me with a hoodie. I remember what Dave says. Unzip my jacket, put my hand inside. This guy doesn't walk across the street. He unzips his jacket. Oh, no. Puts his hand inside. And we're walking towards each other. Cowboy movie. John Wayne, Gary Cooper, shootout at the OK Corral. He's getting closer and closer and closer. And suddenly I see, it's Dave! Man, you scared the hell out of me. Well, you scared the hell out of me. Well, why didn't you walk across the street? Well, why didn't you walk across the street? Well, I didn't want to seem like a wussy. Well, I didn't want to seem like a wussy either. And then he says to me, I could have killed you. I said, what, with this? He said, no, with this. And he pulls out a real gun. What the hell are you doing with a real gun, man? Well, after you got robbed, I got real scared. I bought myself a gun and got a license. I went home for the second time in just a few months, just glad I hadn't been shot. When it comes to violent situations, I've been real lucky. I mean, I was raised in a Jewish middle-class neighborhood, Forest Hills, Queens. Where I was brought up, we didn't fight with fists. We fought with words. The kids who were most respected were the ones who could out-talk, outwit everybody else. And the most respected of all of us was a little guy, Joel Berger. He was the smallest in our group. He always smelled like peanut butter. But if you ever got into an argument with him, he would verbally destroy you. Is that your face, or did your neck just throw up? But for the Catholic kids in our neighborhood, it was a different story. These kids were tough. And they would chase us home almost every day after school, calling us all these horrible names like Christ Killer. And I never knew what that meant until my dad explained to me that a lot of Catholics believe that the Jews killed Jesus. Now, that made no sense to me, because in my perspective, you know, Jews were like just wimps, you know? But then I did some research, and I found out that there was this Jewish guy named Judas who turned Jesus over to the Romans for like 30 pieces of silver. Today's money, that's like $5,000. Then it made sense to me. Jews, money, business! It was a business deal! I apologized to all the Jews in the audience. I know it's not a very nice joke, but our director, David Ford, said, use it, it's okay, don't worry, it's fine. I know what you're thinking, Ford, he's not even a Jew, he's a goy. But no, it's okay, he's one of us, don't worry. How men deal with this kind of potentially violent situation is a big issue. For Bay Area men, wow, you know, we like to think of ourselves as being non-violent. You know, we wouldn't lower ourselves getting into any kind of physical confrontation. We're not like those primitive men who are ready to fight at the slightest provocation. Are you looking at me? Are you looking at me? I don't see anybody else up here. You must be looking at me. You and I, you want to go outside? Maybe you and I should go outside. Never mind, it's too cold. It's cold outside. I don't want to go outside. Bay Area men, we're better than this, right? You know, we are aware, evolved, sensitive. We have been therapized. God, you know, we even do the dishes. And we're not afraid of uttering the two most terrifying expressions known to man. One, honey, I have no idea how to fix that. And two, don't worry, I'll just pull over and ask for directions. But in spite of all these, you know, feelings of feeling better than, you know, deep inside, guys like me, we feel a lot of ambivalence. Because a part of us deep inside would like to be more like those tough guys. Tougher, meaner, hairier. There was one time in my life where I actually got to experience what it was like being a tough guy. Totally by accident. In my car, I pull into a gas station to put some air in my tires. The hose is laying on the ground next to this guy who's standing by it. His car's there. This guy is like, you know, late 30s, early 40s, medium build. And it looks to me like he's finished using the hose. So I walk over to pick it up. Hey, what the fuck you think you're doing? Bay Area guy. Well, you know, thought you were finished with the hose. I didn't know. Well, I'm not finished with it, and if I were you, I would get the fuck out of here. Okay, no problem, but you know, you really don't need to use that kind of language. You're right. Fuck you! Now that last fuck you put me over an edge I didn't even know I had. Fuck me? Fuck you! No, 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 fuck you! It started to sound to me like some kind of bird call, you know? Some kind of primitive, the macho bird, like, fuck you! No, no, fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! It got so ridiculous, I looked at this guy and I said, what, you want to fight about this? His eyes got real big. He started backing away. I took one step towards him, and he jumped into his car, sped away. His wife is screaming at him, and I'm watching him drive away. You see, when I said, do you want to fight about this, I meant, what, you want to fight about this? And he thought I meant, do you want to fight about this? And he was scared of me. I scared him. All right. The next 3 days, I'm walking like, whoa, king of the hill, man. I'm like bad, you know. I'm like, yeah. Not very convincing, am I? Not very convincing. The way men deal with violent, potentially violent situations really just doesn't work. Either we're one up, one down, victim or bully. I mean, are these our only choices? Is this the best we can do? The truth is, I don't know. But you know, I'm only 65. I figure I got some time to figure it out. Thank you. Before I go off the stage, I'd like to introduce somebody who I used to, for the last 15 years, I have, introduced her as my sweetie, the love of my life, the woman who changed my life. But as of like Friday, I can now refer to her as my wife.